And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. As always, I'm your host Joel, and joining me back from his medically induced sabbatical, it's Matt. Everyone, how you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better. My face doesn't look like Elephant Man anymore, so that's good.
Yeah, more dental problems here on the comic multiverse. If you ever wanted to pinpoint our true antagonist, our greatest foe, Matt and I have a lot of problems with our teeth. Matt was just telling me he goes Wednesday for the second part of his thing, and I go for the first time on Wednesday. I finally got a guy who could pencil me in. He's the most expensive guy in my area, but he's the only one who's actually taking actually taking referrals at the moment.
Yeah. It's so annoying, especially because like when I went to the dentist, they like X-rayed me and like say, hey, you got an infection and stuff, but it's like on a tooth that's like fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like why? We don't really know why, but we'll pull it and like we'll like check it out and everything and.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. At least it's like a back one, so.
Yeah, and that'll be $300 just for the X-ray and just for being in our presence.
Well, I got Medicare, so I'm pretty covered by that. So.
I do not. Again, people are always amazed when they're like, "Oh, I thought dentistry was covered, under Canada's socialized medicine." Nope, no dental, no vision.
It's not covered here, but we get like really heavy discounts and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's I know there's a new thing Trudeau is trying to push through right now. He joined with Jamit Singh, the leader of the NDP, and their deal is like, okay, we're gonna work together for like the next 5 years, and we're gonna agree to vote on stuff together to keep all the crazy people out of office and their goddamn trucks and convoys and everything. And one of the things the NDP wanted forever is better, more affordable dentistry. And I'm like, thank fuck, it's about goddamn time.
It's like seems to be like every country, like dentistry isn't included in dentistry and
vision.
Vision.
I don't know why those two things ended up being such the frickin' rackets that they are, but they are.
I know, right? Like people I know that have dentist friends or something just say like, oh, it's just insane how much they charge for certain shit. Oh, you need like the needle to like actually numb it so you don't like scream in pain. Oh, that'll be $400
at least for that. I think it breaks down to the fact too that when it comes to vision and when it comes to dentistry, it's all still a mystery to us. We don't know how it works, so we just kind of have to take their word for it.
Yeah.
They're like the last industries where there's still like mystery going on. And yeah, I need a lot of work because I'm a YouTuber and I don't have any Medicaid, so like I just kind of take it as it goes. I got 2 that need to come out. I got 1 that was out, and I never got a replacement, and I never got like a bridge or anything for it, so I'm gonna have to do that at some point. So it's a whole freaking thing. I had actually planned. I had actually saved some money and was even donated some money before COVID, and I'm like, oh man, I should really put this towards that. And then COVID happened. I'm like, well, I need to spend this money to live, so that ain't happening.
Yeah. The minute someone figures out how to like 3D print like teeth affordable, it's just gotta like destroy the whole entire industry.
Oh, again, I'm sure they have lobbyists out there making goddamn sure that that'll never happen.
They're killing the people that are coming up with the technology.
You know how George Lucas says that he would like smash every copy of the Star Wars Holiday Special?
Yeah,
he could. Yeah. Every dentist would destroy a 3D printer if he could. Can't I just skip ahead to where I'm old and I have dentures and I don't have to give a shit anymore? Hey, do we got any fans in Mexico? Any Mexican fans? Do you guys know any dentists? I know a lot of people that's a big part of dental tourism to go there and just get it done because it's like a fraction of the cost. That's another messed up thing about it. Fraction of the cost, same medicine depending on where you go in the world.
Exactly the same, yeah.
And again, it's like Mexican dentists study in the States and then go back home. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? Friggin' dentistry, man. I swear this isn't just going to be the tooth cast. I swear we have actual stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we're not the dental cast yet.
Yeah, really. Not yet, but I mean, if this episode does great, I mean, I am totally fine completely changing trajectories as we get closer to 300 episodes. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode, everyone, because there was not a lot of comics that came out this week, which was honestly kind of awesome because it's the closest thing Matt and I get to a vacation.
Yeah, it was extra helpful for me. as well.
Oh yeah. Being down and out. Oh man, I got that big static video done that I've been working on forever. I was really happy about getting that done, and everyone
Nice.
seems to like it. So thank you everyone who watched me cover Static Season 1. I played a lot of Elden Ring.
Nice. I did see you've been playing. I played some last night and actually ended up beating Melania.
Nice.
The boss everyone says was really hard. I beat her on my second go.
Really, because that's the boss that hits really fast and gets health back every time she hits you.
Yes. And I ended up beating her second time with some friends, and it's like,
Nice.
well, what's the problem? Because I see people all the time, because my TikTok's filled with Elden Ring videos, and it's all people like complaining about how hard she is, and like, what level are you fighting her at?
I know, right? See, I think some people haven't figured out yet that upgrading your gear is actually more important than upgrading yourself too. So I think some people go in with under-leveled gear.
That's true. Yeah, all my gear is all upgraded. All my swords are level 25.
When last we met, I was decrying my my faith-based build. I'm like, what the fuck did I decide to do a faith build? This is stupid. So I've managed to, after many hours and doing all the Limvale dungeons, getting some good talismans, I have now gone to the dark side of a dex-heavy dual scimitar build with bleed.
Lovely. Does the scimitars, can you do a jump attack with them? Where he jumps and brings them both down? Make sure you get the claw talisman.
Yes, I've seen that. I'm on the lookout for that. You do a jump, but here's the thing. With the two scimitars, your jump attack with two isn't nearly as good as your running attack, because your running attack, and you get like 4 quick ones in before you even get started. And if you have the double-bladed talisman that I have and the wing talisman that I just got, you can keep upping that damage.
Yeah, and the claw talisman ups the damage of the jump attacks.
Yes, which looks really awesome.
And then there's also the armor I'm wearing, which is a big, like, long cape made of feathers.
I've seen that.
That also ups the jump attack as well.
Looks like it came right out of frickin' Bloodborne, that one.
Yeah, it does.
I just beat the Clear Rot Knight there to get the wing talisman, and I'm like, wow, this dungeon fucking sucks. It's all poison. What's at the end of it? Oh, a knight that does holy damage. Awesome.
Just wait until you get to the River of Rot, which is literally like a lake the size of literally a level the size of that lake area, that swamp area. It's just all rot.
Yeah, I'm in the lake. You have to
traverse it to get to a boss.
I'm in the lake right now. I'm trying to get in the magic school, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that guy 4 towns ago told me I need a key. Shit.
Yes, the key is behind it, guarded by a dragon.
And also up in the rafters if you can get there. And I'm like, I ain't doing that rafter shit. I'm going to go deal with the dragon in a couple levels.
Just go, the keys were behind the dragon. Just like do what I did at that lower level and just like run past it, grab the key, and fuck off.
I found the guy who gives you prawns too, so I've been doing that.
He prawn guy,
prawn guy. One of the only nice guys. Him and the big jar guy, Alexander, are like the only 2 guys who aren't like cruel weirdos.
Wait till you meet Pope Turtle.
Oh yeah, I haven't met Pope Turtle. I see everyone talking about how great Pope Turtle is, and I've yet to find the Pope Turtle.
You'll find him soon.
I mean, he's a turtle in a hat, so I mean, of course I'm gonna love him. How could I not? But yeah, like I said, everyone, not a lot of actual comics to read this week, but a ton of comic book news, both from this week and last week. I guess the biggest story, the one that everyone's talking about, and the fact I've even seen the chat talking about it too. Discovery, the brand new owners of Warner Brothers and therein the owners of DC Entertainment, put out a big statement this week saying they plan to overhaul the DC universe. They're really gonna get down there. They're gonna roll up their sleeves and they're gonna get in there and they're gonna make it work. Damn it! And if that sounds familiar, it's exactly what AT&T said last time when they acquired all of this.
Yeah. Did AT&T didn't actually do anything though?
Well, because they barely had it for that long. Yeah. They bought it, and then they quickly sold off the pieces to other people.
Yeah, because everything that's come out so far was things that was already happening, during the AT&T buyout.
Absolutely. And even funnier still, people are like, oh, they're going to have sweeping changes. Oh, sweeping changes are coming. Guys, There's already like Justice Society of America and that Black Adam movie and all this stuff. They got 2 years worth of stuff to burn through. Flashpoint, maybe. We'll talk about Flashpoint later. Before they even get to all these big high-minded changes they're talking about. Again, whenever stuff like this happens, it never happens right away.
Yeah, and they pushed back like Aquaman and Flash to like next year.
Sure did.
Because they were meant to come out the end of this year. So it's even longer. And yeah, and you got Black Adam and Shazam and all these other fucking Batgirl, Blue Beetle.
Yep. Again, all the other stuff that's like question mark, like new seasons of Doom Patrol, new seasons of that Titans show. Hey, what about the animated stuff? Harley Quinn season 3 is coming back. Young Justice hasn't been renewed yet. There's like so many big question marks. Like, well, surely they're going to want to make a sequel to The Batman because it did so good. But well, now there's new bosses and new heads that, you know, they're going to have to talk to about it.
Yeah.
I mean, James Gunn's probably going to want to do more Peacemaker, right? Peacemaker was huge, so they're probably going to want to do more. But again, new bosses now.
Yeah. I did like the one thing that the guy said when he was talking about it was that we need to bring Superman back. We need to bring him back because they've like fucking wasted him.
I think the thing there is like, you know, we have this asset that is depreciating and it shouldn't be. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. Superman is the most well-known superhero, most recognizable superhero in the world. You own the rights to it and you're doing diddly dick with it.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm glad even just from a cold corporate money standpoint, this guy's like, why aren't we doing anything with this? What's the problem? And again, I can only imagine that guy having to be told, hey, you know what? We actually totally bet on the wrong horse and that guy fucked it up, killed him, made him a weirdo, put him in a black suit and then peaced out.
Yeah. But at least we got a good TV Superman.
We got a really good TV Superman, right? And that's another thing, you know, what about these CW shows as an extension for that? And we're going to talk more about that too, because a lot of the CW shows that you like either have not been renewed yet for this season because the new bosses have to look it over, or again, when we talk about The Flash later on, there's talk that they may even just completely short the seasons.
Yeah, well, at least I know Superman and Lois is getting another season, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good shit. It deserves it.
Yeah.
The other thing from this Discovery article is they said, you know, they really want their own Kevin Feige. You know, we want our own Kevin Feige to help us with our direction and help manage things. And I'm like, no, really? You do? You want your own
You've
guy
only
with
just realized it?
Yeah, you want a guy with the golden touch, the man that lays the golden eggs and can seemingly do no wrong? Really? You want one of those? No.
Yeah, you put all your eggs in the basket of Zack Snyder, and that didn't work out very well, did it?
Absolutely. Also, wait, wasn't J.J. Abrams going to do that for you too?
Apparently.
Oh, no, wait, that was AT&T. That was the last regime. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the J.J. Abrams behind the curtain. But wait, isn't he working on that animated Batman show? Yeah, with like 5 other people, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Jeff Johns supposed to be your guy? He's a comic book guy. We don't listen to him. He never had the power he claimed to have. He would just say things and then we wouldn't listen to him.
Yeah.
Again, if it was that easy to get your own once-in-a-lifetime Kevin Feige, every studio would be doing it, and, you know, we'd be watching, like, the 10th Dark Universe movie now from Universal.
You would think that Jeff Johns would be the correct thing, because him and Kevin Feige work together.
Yeah.
Like, in the early days for, like, Richard Donner's company, and then, like, on the X-Men films, and then their paths branch where Kevin went into movies and he went into comics.
Yep. Oh, we'll talk about Jeff Johns, too, because Jeff Johns did a thing this week we got to talk about. Which, again, I think might explain a lot. But, who do we think could be the Kevin Feige guy? Because, again, we talked about Abrams. We talked about Johns. And honestly, the more and more I think about it, I don't think you should get a well-known fan. I don't think you should get a guy who is going to have a lot of, like, in-the-weeds thoughts and everything. I think Kevin Feige works because no one had heard about him before.
Yeah.
And he's a fan, but he's not, like, a mega fan. He's, a guy who can make schedules and make shit work. I think you just need to get a super relatable guy like that who isn't going to have a swelled ego.
Yeah, it's very difficult to pick a guy, especially like I've seen people saying, "Oh, James Gunn should do it." James Gunn doesn't want to do that. We know he doesn't want to do it. People again have said Paul Dini. No, not really. Or Bruce Timm again. No, not really.
they have no name cachet in Hollywood.
Yeah, no one's gonna listen to them.
Again, they are fan favorites, but they have no pull. As much as I love them, they have no pull.
Yeah, maybe Jim Lee.
Jim Lee, again, does he have studio pull? I know he's like a big comic book name. He's been involved in a lot of the different companies and everything. And also,
I want to say he probably does.
Would he be the sort of guy to get a swelled ego, I wonder, if suddenly he starts making a bunch of Wildcats?
I don't know if he does have a swelled ego. He doesn't seem like the type of guy. I mean,
no.
Is he still that editor? And you know how he had that role that Dan DiDio had for a little bit?
Yeah, executive editor and basically where it's like, well, who's even running DC Comics anymore?
Yeah.
After Dini left, and they're like, oh, well, he has this job and someone has another. Yeah, I don't even know anymore, and the fact that AT&T doesn't own them anymore means they're probably going to change that up again.
Yeah, that was like another thing. Like they wanted to have kind of DC separate, like kind of like how Marvel is separate from Disney and everything.
Yeah. Cowboy helping us out there. A thematic DC villain Verde may do well. I want to see Eradicator on the big screen. Don't we all?
I mean, we kind of got Eradicator in Superman and Lois.
Yeah, I guess we did. It was a different kind of Eradicator. But yeah, I want the Bret Hart shades.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's like they need to get a power producer that people could like and that could whip all of this into shape. Though honestly, I think their biggest problem is you got to make good movies that people like and want to see, and then build on that success. I think Warner Brothers' biggest problems in the DC universe is they never had a direction, or if they did, they would quickly course correct.
Well, not only that, and just not be embarrassed by like the properties you have, because like obviously the Snyder universe is like is them saying like, these characters are silly, we need to make them adult and dark and gritty. Yeah, again, Nolan did it and he succeeded, so everything has to be that now.
Yeah, maybe try and figure out who your audience is, because that was my biggest problem with like the whole slate of DC Warner Brothers movies. I'm like, who is this even for? It's
very scattershot.
Yeah, it's too adult and serious for children, most of this, and yet it's also too immature and, shallow for, like, any adult. So I'm like, who is this even for? Who you're trying to get here? Honestly, teen boys, I think, was the main thing. And people, who think and feel like teen boys felt like the most of it of what they were trying to capture. Yeah. And that's not to say they didn't do good stuff. Aquaman was fun. I liked most of Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
The Suicide Squad was good. Hell, even Birds of Prey was pretty fun. Didn't make a lot of money, but there was fun stuff in it. But yeah, that's kind of where they're at right now with this. And honestly, do you think they can salvage any of it, or do you think that they're just going to need to do a full tear down, start over, or embrace the whole multiversity of it all and be like, yeah, that DC universe happened over here. We're on to the new DC universe now.
Yeah, well, I definitely think they need to like fully just wipe the slate clean and just start again. But the real problem with this is that they have their chance with Flash, but Flash has already been made, so it's already like they can't put in their like mandates, like like we need this, and this at the end of this film to set up this new DC universe. So
it has already been made, but whether or not it ends up seeing the light of day anytime soon is a whole other story. And in fact, let's hop right into that now, because it's a good segue. DC this week, or last week, I guess, canceled an Ezra Miller Flash comic prequel that they were, going to have come out alongside the movie. But of course, that ended up getting canceled, and now no one knows when anything is happening, because apparently everything is on irrevocable hold after Ezra Miller got themselves arrested in Hawaii for drunken disorderly at a karaoke bar.
Yeah, for threatening a bunch of people. This isn't the first time he's done something like this.
It's a whole fucking deal. Apparently, Miller has just been a fucking menace in Hawaii, threatening people at karaoke bars for singing karaoke. Other people are saying that they've been breaking into houses and starting all sorts of trouble and everything.
Taking people's passports and...
What?
Yeah, everything.
Just erratic ass behavior where I'm like, okay, we're either going to find out that they have a big drug problem they've been dealing with, or they have some sort of undiagnosed mental illness, because when you're rich and famous, people don't call you crazy, they call you eccentric, and they let you get away with it forever until you hurt someone or until you screw up so publicly it becomes a problem.
Yeah, it's just so strange that WB like put all of their money and all of their backing behind this person, because he's like one of the main characters in those Fantastic Beast movies, which aren't doing very well either.
No, which are also getting marred, and apparently that last one was like a real massive bomb, and like, oh yeah, this is dead in the culture right now. And even, again, Warner Brothers is apparently putting the brake on those now too, because they're like, look, we don't know if this person is going to be okay to do these. We don't know what is up with any of this. People have turned on Rowling. People aren't going to the theaters. Freaking Sonic is making more than us right now. Hey, there's a shared universe that worked. Get the Sonic guy to run the Warner Brothers. Who's in charge of the Sonic cinematic universe?
I don't know, someone who knows what they're fucking doing.
Like I joke, but wow, you made 2 movies in an interconnected universe and are talking about more spin-offs from Sonic, and people seem genuinely excited. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so whatever plans they had for Flash and had for Flashpoint are probably going to have to be tabled for a little bit, because this is a pretty big, pretty public screw-up for someone who is supposed to be the star of your movie, even though it seemed like maybe they were downplaying Miller's involvement, because it's like, oh, we got Keaton back, and we got a new Supergirl.
It never was a Flash film. It was like everyone else's film except a Flash film.
It's a thing we had to do because Flashpoint is a name we know from the comics, and it could help us put our shop back in order there. But yeah, this is a rough scenario for them. This is like, yikes. This is the sort of thing you fear as a PR person.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you wonder as well, maybe they knew something was coming, because they pushed that film back not too long ago, because it just kind of came out of the blue as well.
Well, that's the other thing, too. You know, as soon as the arrest became public, there were more reports coming out that apparently Miller had gotten themselves, like, in trouble on set and was prone to outbursts and strange behavior, to where I'm like, okay, well, you know, this is Warner Brothers saying this, and we know Warner Brothers occasionally makes shit up about people they're fighting with, so I'm going to maybe give Miller the benefit of the doubt on this one, even though it's like, yeah, that checks out. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, remember, because again, like months even before this, there was that video circulating of Miller choke slamming that woman in some foreign city, and oh boy, Warner Brothers was quick to play that down and be like, what video? We didn't see it. There's no date. That woman didn't come out. It didn't happen.
Didn't really get much traction, did it? Yeah.
No, and then they put Miller away forever, and Miller didn't do any interviews for them, didn't talk about anything until DC Fandom, when they showed up looking really shitty and disheveled. And
I fucking remember that. Yeah.
Oh, the picture is amazing. You got to find it. I'm like, okay, now this is starting to paint a picture. And then Miller made a really weird Instagram live video calling out a super specific local branch of the KKK. Yeah. Do you remember this?
Yes, yeah. He was going to kill all the KKK or something.
To which I'm like, hey, man, that's what a hero would do. Good on you.
A little weird you're doing it on Instagram, but yeah.
Yeah. It's a little weird you're, calling for the abolitionist fight against white supremacy on Instagram. But all right, this is better than choke slamming that woman. Was that woman involved with the Klan? Is it all connected, Ezra? You got to tell us if it's all connected. Do they work out of the karaoke bar in Hawaii? Have you been, doing a one-person battle against the forces of evil? Did you get too into the Flash character? The answer is no, of course. None of that. Again, probably drugs, probably mental illness.
Yeah, and it makes me think that, like, obviously the Flash film got pushed back like almost a year, like a full year. So it makes me think, oh, are we going to get like reshoot? Like, because like with the new company coming in, this is like the perfect opportunity to change something, to like make it course correct and everything. And makes me wonder whether they'll actually do that.
Yeah, I feel like if they had the opportunity, they would take it, and they might very well take it. Now, obviously, with all this news coming out about, the star of the Flashpoint movie seemingly unraveling, it is very interesting that around the same time, they also announced that the next Grant Gustin season of The Flash, season 9, which they weren't sure if Gustin was going to take it or not, is probably going to happen, but they're probably going to cut the episode order in half, which has led a lot of people to, tinfoil hat conspiracy theory time being like, wait, Did they cut that season in half because they want Gustin to go and film some stuff for Flashpoint? Because, he's the good, non-problematic Flash.
I keep seeing people saying that it'd be really great if, like, the season ends with him going into the film and, like, becoming the Flash of the film universe. I think he really does deserve it if he wants to do that. But, I mean, he could... he'd have to kind of film something for the Flash, and if the film's dealing with like multiverses and stuff, because like technically the DCEU is a universe in the CW Arrowverse, being that they've met. Yeah,
Miller and Gustin have met, which makes me think this would be so easy from a writing standpoint, and it would literally fix every one of your problems. You're not sure if you want to keep making Flash TV shows. Grant Gustin's movie career hasn't really taken off. He did like that fucking thing about the dog.
Yeah.
You had a dog movie. I'm like, wow, you're like a big star on TV and you're doing a dog movie.
Yeah.
Miller is proving to be unreliable. You get the guy from the TV show that the fans like and has proved to, be able to hold his own and wants to start a film career and doesn't want to be locked down to a TV show forever. Okay, you're a movie actor now. You're our movie Flash now. You save this movie. We get to make some money off it. You get to be, the film star you want it to be. It kind of fixes everything.
It does. And I guess, like, because I know Gustin has said in the past, like, being on the Flash, it can be very like trying because it's like long hours and shit and all that sort of stunts and all that. So I could see them doing the movie in that the fact that he'd only have to be like filming for like 6 months and then like take the rest of the year off, sort of thing.
The episode order is ridiculous because, again, there's like so many episodes in these CW shows. Again, I love they're like, oh, we're going to cut it back now. I'm like, no, you should have cut it back like 5 seasons ago.
Yeah. I caught up on Flash recently, and it's like the episodes there, it's like, you didn't need any of this shit in this show. Just skip it all. I stopped watching after COVID clearly knocked the shit out of the show, and after all those other actors started leaving, to where I'm like, okay, if you guys don't want to be here, I don't want to be here either. It's funny, I really thought about this, and I know we've talked about this on the show. The Flash show is in such a weird position because it's been going on longer than any Flash comic run has ever gone on, and they have cannibalized every Barry story, every Wally story, every famous Flash story you can think of, to where they started to have to like adapt Joshua Williamson stuff from like only a couple years ago. I'm like, there's nowhere left to go for this show. Yeah, well, it's definitely clear in this new season, because there's like episodes where like he's not fighting. Like, I don't even know who the fucking big bad of this season is.
Oh,
like,
really?
Like, at the moment, they did like a bunch of episodes dedicated to Deathstorm.
Oh, really?
And they had Deathstorm appear with fucking, what's his name, Ronnie coming back, Stephen Amell's brother, who was Firestorm. Yeah. He fucking came back, and they got the Deathstorm. Deathstorm looks cool, but like, okay, sure, why?
Again, you're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. You know who Deathstorm isn't? Flash.
yeah, that's true. But they are bringing back a reverse Flash, or a Flash, like a speedster villain, as usual.
Of course. Actually, no, I thought they did something great with the second Reverse Flash at the end of Legends of Tomorrow this season. I don't know if you're keeping up with that show, but they did something fun with him.
I haven't. No, what happened?
So basically, the Legends, because they lost their time machine and they have to get back, they have to try and stop the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand to stop World War I from happening. The only problem is every time someone tries to stop that, they are mysteriously murdered, and they're like, well, who the hell is killing these people? Is it the timeline correcting itself? No, it's the Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, who after he got stolen by the time race and everything, this is like his work release program, defending this fixed point in time.
That's kind of cool.
It's super clever, actually, and he's like a good guy now, and he's like, look, Sarah, I don't want to do this forever. I learned the error of my ways because I've had like a million years to sit here and think about what I've done, and this is shitty. Oh, also they meet Booster Gold at the end too.
I did see Booster Gold, and it was Donald Faison, and it was really cool because he was playing golf on like a battlefield. I
Yep.
saw that. It was pretty cool.
Yep, that was okay. Again, every time I think I'm done with Legends of Tomorrow, I'm like,
It
okay,
reels you back in.
Yeah, okay, you got a couple more episodes out of me.
It does
Legends.
something
All right.
comic bookish. It does something like from the comics.
Very.
Yeah.
In fact, like literally that season ends with all of them in Booster Gold getting sent to like super secret time jail for time crimes.
Nice. Is the Eobard Thorn in there? Is that Tom Cavanaugh?
No, it's the other guy.
Oh, the other guy. Okay, because Tom Cavanaugh's coming back as like I think either Eobard or like they saw like pictures of him on set in like a black Flash costume.
Tom Cavanaugh really was the secret weapon of that show. It really was never as good when he wasn't around.
No, he was fantastic, and now that he's gone, it's just terrible. Either the supporting cast on that show at the moment is just awful.
It really hit the point where it's like, okay, you know, the original cast was leaving, they didn't want to do it anymore, and the new people you got aren't half as interesting.
No, not at all.
It reminds me, I'm like, oh, this is why DC Comics have crises. This is why they set everything back every 5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Because once you go for too long and exhaust every storyline.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, that the problem this year we're not getting a crossover because the crossover is happening in the comics.
Yes, which I'm sure you'll talk about when we talk about what we read this week.
Yeah.
And moving on from there, we actually do have some comic news here. Ms.Marvel, ahead of her brand new Disney Plus show, she's not getting a brand new series like I thought she was going to. She has a mini right now that's coming to a close instead. She's getting a brand new team-up series, Ms.Marvel Team Up, which are going to be small 3-issue arcs written by a ton of different writers like Lee Williams, and it's actually going to see Kamala join forces with some darker, edgier heroes you wouldn't expect, like Wolverine and Moon Knight and Venom.
They're doing the world's finest route where you've got like the Superman Ms.Marvel and like the edgier Batman with Wolverine and all these other characters. That's cool.
It works. It's a tried and true method, and I'm like, okay, this might be a good excuse to get people to pick up Ms.Marvel books who wouldn't normally pick up Ms.Marvel books.
Yeah, you like Moon Knight? We'll read Moon Knight when in this issue, along with a new character who'll be getting a Disney Plus show soon. Absolutely.
Yeah, they could have some fun stuff to talk about there. Hey, you're a Muslim, I'm Jewish. How about that?
Yeah.
Wolverine, hey, you know, the Wolverine seal of approval, Jubilee, Kitty Pryde, all of these young women that I mentored went on to big things, Bob. It's kind of my thing that I do. I'll mentor the hell out of you.
My daughter is now Wolverine. You'll become Captain Marvel soon.
Soon enough, yeah, really. It's the Wolverine bump. It's a real thing. You hang out with them long enough.
That's going to be really interesting with Wolverine. I wonder if they'll do anything with the Inhuman X-Men sort of thing.
Yeah. They teamed up ever so briefly in the G. Willow Wilson run, and it was basically just that joke I was making, where because Kamala's such a nerd, she's like, "Ooh, some of my favorite heroes teamed up with you before their careers really took off." Yeah, that was Wolverine back when he was wearing like the onesie costume, the black and yellow that was all one thing.
Oh, yep.
That's how long ago that was. And Venom will be interesting too, because will it be the Eddie Venom or will it be the new Dylan Venom?
Interesting, yeah.
Because wouldn't it be funny? She's like, wait, you mean you're just a kid? You're just a couple years older than me? What the fuck?
I like to think that like that's the reveal at the end. Like they've gone through all of this stuff, and then Venom like goes away, and it's just like this little kid.
Well, he's not little anymore. They aged Dylan up in that news story. He went from like 10 to like 15.
Oh, really?
Maybe even 17 now, because he was hanging out in a bar last issue.
Okay.
You know, he's at least old enough that they don't card him anymore. But yeah, that looks fun. I'll definitely pick some of these up. I haven't picked up the new miniseries. I was going to wait for it to be done. It's a time travel story, apparently.
Is that action something story?
Or Ms.Marvel Beyond, I want to call it.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
It's a time travel story, and Loki is involved. And I'm like, okay, well, Loki was actually a big part of Ms.Marvel for a couple arcs there, so they know each other.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. After that, we got some DC news here. Pride Month is coming up, and both DC and Marvel are coming out with their big Pride books to celebrate it, bringing together some of the best LGBTQ plus writers and artists. And one of the most surprising additions to the DC side of things is that Kevin Conroy is going to be penning a story for them. Conroy, of course, being the original voice of Batman the Animated Series, the Batman we all know and love and is, you know, synonymous with our childhoods, basically.
Yeah, and someone that I'm sure many, many, many people, me myself included, found out in this article is that he's a gay man as well.
I had no idea. You and I both
No.
had this like moment of like, how did this slip past us?
Yeah.
We're huge comic book nerds. We're huge aficionados of Batman the Animated Series. I've listened to 100 interviews and what is it, convention panels with Conroy. How the hell did this never come up once? I had to actually search it. Apparently he came out in a Variety article in like 2016, and I'm like, oh yeah, a lot of stuff was happening in 2016 in the news. I guess that got buried.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Very much so, yeah. Hey, the Batman we all know and love and grew up with happens to be a gay man, and I felt so stupid when I really stopped and thought about it. I'm like, oh yeah, because he's an actor who came up in the world of musical theater, and in the hundreds of interviews he gave, never once did he mention a wife or a girlfriend or anything like that. And even when he goes to conventions as an older guy, normally like the older guys come with their significant other, and he never did. And I'm like, oh yeah, that should have been such a giveaway. Damn, I thought I had good gaydar. Apparently I don't.
I always just thought he was just playing up the whole, I'm Batman. I'm like the billionaire playboy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a man. I'm an international man of mystery.
Yeah.
True story. What was it at the Philadelphia Comic-Con there? What is it? Sal from Comic Pop actually ran the panel with him, and we got to sit in an auditorium and everything. He came, did the thing, he sang, he had the whole crowd in the palm of his hand, and then literally we turned around and he was gone. I shit you not, he was just gone. And I'm like, anyone else would do that, I'd be like, wow, that motherfucker. But I'm like, dude, Batman on us. We turned around and he's gone. Also, too, as far as Pride issue goes, I think the DC one was much better than the Marvel one last year. I hope Marvel actually ups their game.
Yeah. Are they coming out around the same time?
Yeah, I think they come out in the same week.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which is good, yeah. I really liked the DC one from last year because, it's like the only time we got to read about Renee Montoya Question in years.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, good. Someone remembered this character exists. Why doesn't she have a book? She's so good in this story. That was the issue, too, where because they were still trying to push Eclipso for Stargirl. So they have, like, Aqualad going to his first Pride parade, and Eclipso pops out. It's like, nah, I'm going to make mischief here for all you gays. Oh, no, there's more gay superheroes now than ever. Shit, there's like 10 of you and 1 of me. Stop beating me up. Loved that moment. That's such a beautifully comic moment. I hope that becomes a running gag. I hope Eclipso's like, I'm here to make more mischief. Oh, God, no. Why so many? But yeah, so look forward to that, everyone. I know I'm definitely going to cover that one. I was going to cover it, but I especially want to read what he's writing.
I'm very intrigued, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, continuing on the DC front and the Batman front, Detective Comics is going to be getting a brand new creative team as of issue 1062.
About time.
I guess. I know you and I held such a torch for Mariko Tamaki for so long, but I feel like the story of her run on the book is she never really got to get going, did she?
No, and when she did, she had to shoehorn Batman into the fucking story.
That's just so sad. I had such high hopes for Tamaki on that book because, again, hey, first woman, Canadian woman, Asian woman writing a Batman book, and it just kind of ended up being like, oh, that should have been so much more.
Yeah.
But the new creative team you'll probably know pretty well. It's Ram V and Raphael Albuquerque, who are going to be starting a brand new story, a 4-issue arc called Gotham Nocturne.
Yeah, and they're taking inspiration from like Gothic opera, Phantom of the Opera sort of stuff.
Yep, the art I saw looks cool. The general pitch is Batman thinks he's going crazy in Gotham City because he keeps hearing this haunting, ghostly melody that's, slowly driving him mad.
Yeah, he's hearing those goddamn bats from Elden Ring singing.
Yeah, ring. He's hearing the bells of Notre Dame. I like it. That very much sounds like a Ram V pitch. It sounds like kind of scary, kind of horror. Yeah,
I'm really excited to see what he's got. He did really well on that Justice League Dark book.
Yeah.
And the backups when Justice League and Justice League Dark became one book was really good. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Speaking of backups, this one's actually going to have backups too. It's going to be written by Cy Spurrier, and it's going to be focusing on private detective Jim Gordon.
Yes, I'm very excited. Cy Spurrier, fantastic
Likewise.
writer.
Loved Way of X. Really excited for Legion of X that he's going to be doing, and yeah, I can't wait to see what he brings to Gordon.
Yeah, finally a backup that sounds like it's going to be actually pretty damn good.
I know, right? When was the last time we were excited for a backup? And I'm actually excited for a backup.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. All right, what else do we got going on from there? Ooh, new X-Men books, and we were talking about X-Men. We're getting a brand new miniseries. It's called X-Terminators, which I feel is a joke we've made on this show.
I feel like we have made that joke, yeah.
It's so obvious. It's just the lowest hanging fruit, which means you know it's the sweetest. Yeah, it's going to be a 5-part miniseries. It's also from Lee Williams. It's going to feature an all-girl team made up of Boom Boom, Jubilee, Dazzler, and I think more. So basically a lot of characters who aren't doing anything at the moment.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like Leah Williams and her writing and everything. I am a little bit worried because she did write Trial of Magneto, and that turned out to be kind of a dud.
That felt like a lot of meddling on that one, honestly, where it's like, look, we don't fucking know what you should do with Scarlet Witch, so just do fucking whatever.
Yeah, so hopefully this book kind of captures what she did on, like, X Factor.
Yeah, she's had really bad luck with the X-Men books. X-Factor was a cool premise, but clearly wasn't able to maintain the fan base of people who loved crime, mystery fiction, and X-Men. And then you had Trial of Scarlet Witch, where it's like, okay, well, this is a Band-Aid you gotta pull one way or another, so I guess you gotta do it.
Yep.
And now her next series is just a mini-series, but a cool mini-series nonetheless.
Yep.
The Captain Coon, the new Detective comic page, sounds like a thing they did in Doctor Who 13 years ago. 10th Doctor keeps hearing 4 knocks as a signal of something. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Oh, yeah, maybe Ramvi is a fan.
Probably.
I mean, most Doctor Who stories you could probably turn into a Batman story if you tried hard enough.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, hey, he's got new villains. What are they called? The Crying Alabasters? What? Look, if he starts fighting that and a bunch of Robo-Men, then we'll talk. Man, I would love to do that as a writer, just absolutely rip something off and see how long it took for people to catch on. Just shamelessly rip something off that's very niche and just see if anyone caught me.
Yeah, something from like an anime or something.
Yeah, like how many years could I go? Because like the internet is huge and everyone's a fan of something, so it's like eventually someone would catch on.
Yeah, no one your luck though, it'll be like instant. Like you put it out and be like, oh, hey, wait a minute, and they'll show a picture of the exact panel it's from. You know,
the trick is it's like you would have to do something in a completely different genre where it's like, what's the one genre that comic fans don't watch, read, or follow that I could steal from liberally and no one would know?
Comics.
Yeah, other comics, yeah. Hey, I've joked about that before. You could take a Batman story, you could take a Spider-Man story, turn them inside out, switch some characters, and it's more or less the same. Moving on from there, again, more DC comic news. The DC Round Robin Tournament got hacked. That's, of course, the big fan vote that will decide which of the many interesting new miniseries they would eventually end up coming out with. And yeah, surprising no one it got fucking hacked. Well, duh.
Yeah, I knew the minute they announced it, I'll be like, yeah, that's going to get hacked. It's like when they did the original one where that Robin's book got. I guarantee you the people who stan Robin on Twitter and everything, like, were making multiple accounts and just spamming it to win. Yeah,
it just begs to be corrupted and to be cheated at. So they had to go back, they had to change the bracket, and eventually the final 2 came down to that Superboy story and that Suicide Squad Dark story that they totally didn't rip off from me. I'm just saying, a couple years ago on a very popular show, I pitched Suicide Squad Dark, but whatever.
Yeah.
Theirs is different than mine, actually. I read the solicitation for Suicide Squad Dark, and it didn't sound as good as mine.
As Kuro points out, the creators all did get paid for their pitches, which is good.
Oh, that's good.
But I really wish that like they all just got done. Like we said when we talked about it, I think last week or the week before, they should have just done like a big anthology book and just like...
Where they're all in there.
Yeah, where they're all just like one story.
That'd have been nice, yeah. Again, because again, there's like you love to see the creativity, and you're happy that they got paid, even if their pitch is just going to be sitting in a vault somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it just feels like you should be celebrating this creativity and not turning it into like a contest amongst fans to snipe at each other.
Pitting writers against writers, basically.
Yeah, because again, like I tried covering that Robin book, and I had to stop because the fans in the comments section were so unbelievably shitty.
Yeah,
they didn't want to talk about Robin. They only wanted to talk about the book they voted for that they didn't get, and so a bunch of fans held it against the winning book, and I'm like, that's bad.
That's why I didn't cover it, because I saw it when it won. Just like the post that announced it got around is just inundated with people just bitching.
No one can hold a grudge like fucking comic book fans, apparently.
Yeah. You have a John Kent Superboy book, Tevye. It's called Superman, Son of Kal-El.
We're going to talk about issue 10 later on in the episode, because that was new this week. Moving on from there, another big announcement, this time from Marvel. Avengers BC, The Secret of Thor is a brand new event coming soon to the page. Go see about it.
Yes, I'm really excited for this just because everyone else thinks it's the worst fucking thing ever. So, of course, I fucking love it.
Num. Yeah, give me your salt.
Yeah,
give me your tears.
I need my salt.
Feed me. I'll even admit I'm one of those people. I had it out on Twitter. I'm like, why are we doing the secret parentage of Thor? You said it was Gaia, and then Donny Cates said it didn't matter that it was Gaia because Freya was the one who raised him. Literally, we just got done that arc in Thor. Why are you doing this now? And the answer is Jason Aaron wrote that story, and now he wants to tell it.
Well, the chances are maybe it doesn't even have anything to do with that, and it's like a clickbait title.
It very well could be, because again, Aaron has done that before too.
Yeah.
Again, like Heroes Return had nothing to do with the old Heroes Return.
No.
And Heroes Reborn, it was just, we just took the fucking name because we liked it.
Yeah.
And again, will probably be the same deal here. But again, I guess we're going to be getting more Thor content across a bunch of different books because he's going to be getting that new movie soon.
Yeah.
So there you go. Is his mom the Phoenix? Probably fucking not.
No.
Unless they revealed that Gaia was the Phoenix at one point, because I don't think we got Stone Age Phoenix's name.
No, we kind of got her story though, where she was like a cave woman who like got like outed from her tribe, and like she was left to die, and that's when the Phoenix found her and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. But again, like I think he made it really clear that the Phoenix was just fucking with Thor and trying to throw him off his game by saying she's his mother and everything. Her and Odin did have like an affair. Yeah. But like, yeah.
In classic Phoenix fashion. Maybe this too is just to keep Phoenix away from Krakoa and from what the X-Men are doing right now.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, let's keep them away from that, because if they get that, that's gonna not be good.
like that's like year 5 of Krakoa. We'll bring the Phoenix back in and let them do something with that.
Yeah, I'm still kind of shocked we haven't gotten that story in any of the X-Men books where they're like shitty. That like someone other than a mutant has
the Phoenix Force.
I know they kind of toyed with it in one. Fuck, what was it? There was like a mutant that was getting kind of shitty, but they kind of like just did away with it really quickly.
Maybe that'll be a sub thing in Judgment Day too, when Avengers meet up with the X-Men again, and they're like, "What, Echo?
Yeah.
Why do you have that? Give it back." Oh shit! Are we gonna renegotiate this battle of the original X-Men versus Avengers when we were fighting over the Phoenix Force? Shit! Did Aaron write that too, or did Bendis write that? Who wrote the original Avengers versus X-Men?
That was Bendis, I think.
That was okay. Maybe you're right. Because wouldn't it be interesting? Like, wait, are the same people working on this one now?
Do over.
Yeah, do over. Round two.
And then we're gonna bring the Inhumans in, and they're gonna fight the X-Men.
Yeah, really, because we gotta renegotiate everything. Yes, it was Bendis.
Yeah,
it was absolutely Bendis. So yeah, that's that news for you, everyone. Get ready to learn the secret origin of Thor all over again. And lastly, we do have some Young Justice related news. Greg Weisman and collaborators announced that once this season is done, we're going to be getting a brand new comic series, the first new comic series in a while. It's canon, and it's going to be continuing after the show to fill in some blanks.
Nice. Is this going to be like a A digital or?
I can only assume it's going to be a digital.
Yeah.
I don't imagine they would give this one a full physical release. Also, too, hey, interesting timing of this. They're releasing the comic when they have not announced one way or another if we're getting season 5.
Maybe this is like their thing. It's like, hey, maybe if the comic does, we don't have to do a cartoon.
Yeah, how much interest is in there?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm sure HBO Max is like, fucking animation is expensive and you guys keep wanting more. So, like, yeah.
Yeah.
What do we do with that? Have you been keeping up with Young Justice this season, or are you waiting for it to all be done?
The last thing I watched of Young Justice, they were fighting the Reach.
The Reach. Oh, God. So not since season 2.
I did see, like, some episodes of, like, wasn't this season? Maybe it was the last season where, like, they introduced, like, Geoforce.
Yes, that was the Outsiders.
That was I did 3. See some of that, but yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to it.
Season 4 is cool because they realized that they can steal some ideas, interestingly enough, from comic storytelling. And now every one of the original Young Justice members gets an arc to themselves.
Oh, nice.
It's really well done. So Zatanna gets an arc, and Aqualad gets an arc, and, Artemis gets an arc. We're actually in the Rocket arc right now because, cool. Hey, we settled our lawsuit with Milestone, which means we can tell Rocket stories now.
Nice.
It's fun. They introduced that she has an autistic kid, and then they set her up with Orion, who, again, she's not very nice to Orion, despite the fact that he is essentially the New Gods version of autistic.
Yeah.
It's very fun, actually. They do a lot of interesting stuff there. But yeah, so there's going to be a comic. I'm happy about it because Young Justice is the most popular thing I do on my channel, so I'm happy to continue to milk it.
People do seem to like it, yeah.
They do, even if a lot of the time I think they only comment just to complain, but those who like it do like it. It's always the same complaint, too. It's like, it's not as good as the first 2 seasons. I'm like, yeah, because they don't have as much money, and that was a Saturday morning cartoon, and you're an adult now. They're trying to write the show for adults.
Yeah, they're trying to write it for the audience that grew up with the show.
Exactly. Which ironically is something I think a lot of people had a problem with The Legend of Korra as well, where it's like, well, sorry, the writers thought you could handle more complex themes and ideas, and sorry, you need an action scene every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like it's clear Wiseman really likes his Star Trek because a lot of the show is like classic Trek, where sometimes your big action scene is like, oh, they walk down a hallway.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes there's more action scenes in this one than there are in 3. Season 3 had a real problem. Like, oh, are they about to fight? No, I guess that's expensive.
Yeah, I think it was season 3 the one that had like, they probably still do it, but they had like the god awful like CGI stuff. Like I remember like a god awful like CGI motorcycle flying thing.
It's not that bad, but there are some sea monsters in the Aqualad episode where I'm like, ooh, those look bad. But I mean, that's not a Young Justice thing. That's animation in general. Whenever they try and marry traditional and 3D, It almost never works.
Never works, no.
Never ever works. So yeah, get ready for that, everyone. Young Justice Targets coming soon.
Nice.
Now with that, I guess we can hop on over into what we read this week. And there wasn't as much to read this week, but I'm sure what we did read, we can talk a lot about.
Yeah, we should talk also about some of the books that we read the week before, because there was like some big ones like Devil's Reign and stuff.
I guess if you want to talk about that, we should cover it.
Talk about the end of Devil's Reign and stuff, because it was a pretty good ending.
It was a really good ending. Holy shit, this one completely blew away the idea that, Daredevil, the one time he had an event, it was shitty. Not only is it good, but it was probably one of the best, most complete feeling ones.
It's like if Chip Zdarsky was to say, like, I'm done with Daredevil, this would be like the perfect ending.
But he's not done. No. He's going to keep going, hilariously enough. But yeah, we get the big battle in the streets between the Purple Man and his zombie horde. The heroes get, reinforced by all the heroes who broke out of jail. So we see that story reconnect.
Yep, that was cool. I didn't read any of those tie-ins or anything because, not important.
I started to, and then I stopped.
Yeah, because there was too fucking many of them.
There was too many. None of them are bad, but none of them were necessary either.
Yeah, none of them connected up to the main plot, and you didn't have to read any of them to understand the main plot.
And we still never got that Luke Cage one.
Did that one not even come out?
Never came out.
Wow, because that was that original Luke Cage book that got retooled
Yep, got retooled into a
Holy
tie.
shit! Because I was wondering that. I was wondering when I read that. I'm like, hey, what happened to that Luke Cage one? I never heard anything about it.
Yeah, crazy. But poor Hochi Anderson. I hope they eventually let that one come out because I was interested in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're fighting it out in the streets. The last of the Purple Child is their only hope to defeat Kilgrave, and so Luke heroically goes to protect the kid and like watch over him, and that's a great moment.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil goes to finally have his one-on-one against Kingpin for killing his brother Mike.
Yep, that was great.
Great staging of a fight too, to be like, well, why can't Daredevil just totally kick Kingpin's ass? And the answer is because he's fighting angry, he's fighting dumb, and Kingpin is exploiting that.
He's blinded by the hate.
Absolutely. We get like an intergender tag match because they're fighting over there, and Typhoid Mary and Elektra are fighting on the other car. I'm like, oh, this is great because you set up since issue 1 2 couples on completely different tracks who have come full circle to clash with each other.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was so cool. But yeah, Daredevil ends up getting hold of the Purple Wayne cane thing he had and tries to use it to stop Kingpin and like kind of make him feel all the evil he's brought on the world. And Kingpin's pain, Kingpin's like, cool.
Yeah, it's great. He has his own Thanos mode. It's like, I compel you to feel bad about all the people you've hurt and lives you've ruined. And he's like, motherfucker, I wouldn't change a thing.
He got a huge erection when he did that. Yeah,
sure did. He's off panel, but you can see I'm not mad about nothing, motherfucker. So yeah, they have it out, and again, about everything coming full circle. Daredevil thinks, I should kill him, I could do it, and Elektra's like, nah, people are watching, I now understand what you've been trying to tell me, because I become a hero, I know how important symbols are, you almost ruined your life when you killed that guy by accident, imagine what happens if you kill Fisk on purpose.
Yeah, that was a great moment for Elektra, where she's finally realized the importance of like the Daredevil symbol and who Daredevil is. It's great.
Yep, she's found the beauty and worth of heroism and everything there, and you're like, wow, I guess the story's over. 2 amazing epilogues on this one. Fisk, even though he was caught slipping, even though Luke is mayor, it doesn't matter because the Stromwind twins try and break him out because, as we remember back in issue 1, they think Fisk has what it takes to be their presidential candidate, and if he's willing to work for them, they'll, wipe away his record, and, we can just keep on keeping on the way they are. But Kingpin doesn't do it. In fact, he kills all of them to send a message to his son Butch that once you start bowing, once you start living under one thumb in this crazy gangster world, it'll never stop.
But once you start making deals with the devil, you can't stop.
Yep, it's really good. And also, almost kind of feels like Zdarsky doing a bit of commentary on Kingpin in the last couple stories, because he was bowing a lot. He bowed to Alexa Lukin in the Power Elite in Captain America. He bowed to Kindred over in Spider-Man. Yep. This is, again, to use a wrestling term, this is Wilson Fisk getting his win back. Getting his heat back. Bland Man helping us out in the comment section. Pick your poison. Keep Ezra as Flash. In exchange, you get a comic-accurate Green Arrow replaced with Grant as Flash, but Stephen Amell as Green Arrow. Ooh.
Amell became like kind of a great Arrow at the end.
By the end,
but it was like those first like 3 or 4 seasons, which was just terrible.
Amell seems like a nice guy. There's worse things, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess it would also further justify all those years spent watching the CW shows and absorbing that to see him kind of canonized along with Gustin.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's great. Butch finally gets everything he ever wanted because Kingpin leaves him his crown, essentially. I leave you the story. Tell them that you killed everyone, and, no one will take any shit from you.
Yeah, he killed the Kingpin and usurped his throne, basically, and no one will, touch you ever.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can give you, my son. I can't give you the love. I can't give you all those years, but I can give you everything you've ever wanted. And oh, the Shakespearean tragedy when Butch realizes, wait, that means everything Mike said was right. Yep. I shouldn't exist. And he definitely killed Mike. Oh, no, yep. I'm Kingpin. I have everything I want, but it cost my friend's life.
I should have listened to Mike. Didn't listen to him.
I should have listened to him.
The Moonstone never came back. Never came back.
No. But maybe Butch will look for it now.
Yeah, or Wilson has it.
Or Wilson has it, is keeping it in his back pocket just in case. And yeah, with that, Kingpin gets to escape. He gets to ride off into the sunset.
Literally sails off into the sunset.
Realizing what he should have realized like 2 arcs back, and that is like, look, I have you, Typhoid Mary. I have love, the thing I never had before in my life. I don't need anything else. You know, everything I built, everything I suffered for, it's fine because I have you. And I'm like, wow, what a beautiful, sympathetic story that they built for the Kingpin. That, of course, a lot of readers didn't understand because, you know,
the villain has to lose and get the comeuppance and not get anything good. But I fucking love that the villain like got away, got a happy ending and everything. It was so fucking good.
Also, too, if you were reading the story right at that point, you know there were people way worse than Fisk. Fisk had honor and rules that he followed. The Stormwinds were worse. The Stormwinds were ready to destroy Hell's Kitchen and rape America just to line their pockets. Doc Ock was worse. He was going to, like, destroy the multiverse and, like, turn New York into a police state. Purple Man is worse. Like, they were sure to put that story and fill it with people who were way worse than Kingpin.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Again, that's basically been the theme of Zdarsky's Daredevil from the very beginning. Fisk and Matt were on similar paths. They just couldn't see it.
Yeah, until the end.
Yeah, and speaking of similar paths, Matt thinks, you know, well, they all thought Mike was me and Mike is dead. Maybe I should stay dead. Yeah,
so Matt Murdock is more or less dead. Daredevil can't really do anything anymore. Like there's no need for a Daredevil in New York, so he's thinking bigger. He's gonna international, and to do that, he's decided to join Elektra and her version of the Hand, the Fist, and become the Fist and probably fight Frank Castle, who's now leading the Hand.
Which is crazy to think. I'm like, wow, did they plan that far in advance? Because again, that also ties into something Zdarsky did early on in the run, where Punisher is the only one being sympathetic to Matt when he accidentally killed that guy, where he's like, cool, you finally see things my way, huh? No, you crazy man. So now, once again, they are on opposite sides. Two parts of the same coin, also destined to clash in battle. So yeah, Devil's Reign was great.
It was fantastic.
Arguably the best event of the year so far.
So far, yeah.
It's going to be hard to top. In fact, it's probably one of the only events where it's like, wow, they actually pulled that off.
Yeah. And we're going to keep getting it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Lord Doom in the chat there for that. And hey, thank you from Mexico, too. We were just talking about Mexico at the beginning of the show. Matt and I need expensive dental surgery.
Yeah, we're coming to Mexico.
Yeah, we don't know where we're going yet, but we need expensive dental surgery, and we hate having to pay for it where we are. But yeah, Devil's Reign is awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Real solid story. Now, I guess the biggest story that came out this week was, of course, Jeff Johns' big return to DC Comics with Flashpoint Beyond, issue number 0.
Yeah, a sort of lead into Dark Crisis. We're not really sure yet. I'm pretty sure it will have something to do with Dark Crisis since it spun out of Joshua Williamson's stuff.
It's also a sequel to Flashpoint and a sequel to Justice League Incarnate and also a sequel to The Button and Doomsday Clock.
Yes, it does a lot.
It does all that while also having a big old moan as well, too. I don't think I have ever seen Jeff Johns angry right before, but this is probably the angriest work he's ever put out.
But the thing is, though, it fits with the character.
It fits with the version of Thomas Wayne that Johns invented for Flashpoint. Not so much the one Joshua Williamson was doing where he was, rehabbing him.
Well, see, yeah, that's what I thought was kind of interesting, because you have this rehabbed character who has learnt to be a better Batman thanks to Bruce and everything, and knew that he was wrong, be thrust back into the world that Johns made where everything was, like, bad and, all fucked up and, like, and nothing matters and all that sort of stuff. Like how does he
unlearn every lesson?
How does he change that? Yeah, and he ends up like going back. And I think that there's probably something to do with the world like doing that to people, like that Flashpoint. Like it makes people do that, like kind of molds them into it. Your mic just fucked up again.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. No, it's like really loud.
Shit.
Oh, it's back to normal. Nope, no, it's fucked up again.
Okay. Now?
it's really like crackly and shit. You get yourself a new mic, man. You gotta buy one of these new HyperXs.
It looks great. I want a new HyperX. If I wasn't trying to save up $4,000 for my teeth, I would have bought one already and a new camera.
There you go. It's better now.
Okay, thank fuck. But yeah, Thomas Wayne isn't the only Batman in this story too, because we also have a Batman. Don't ask what time and what place that Batman is from, but he's there.
It's definitely Earth Zero Batman.
Right.
And he's working with Mima Marionette from Doomsday Clock.
Yeah, it's our first time seeing them, and apparently they have another kid.
Yes, they have a kid. That kid, I think, was mentioned in Doomsday Clock. They had the kid because he was being like held hostage or something, making him by someone, and yeah, they're looking for Janie Slater's watch that Dr. Manhattan had, that Rip Hunter has, because Rip Hunter's been Rip Hunter and the Time Masters have been, who are seemingly evil.
Yes, we don't know yet. We got a whole creepy board filled with like weird cryptic shit like 5G averted, Deathstroke isn't acting like Deathstroke.
Yeah, like Return to the Justice Society, all this shit that's like gonna feed into Dark Crisis and stuff. And yeah, they're trying to sort something out. Obviously the watch. I have to imagine maybe Batman's trying to get to Flashpoint.
Maybe
use the watch, because the watch was Dr. Manhattan's. Maybe the watch has like the tachyons that allow like the universe travel sort of thing.
Well, maybe he has to use the watch like the button when you put that with Psycho Pirate's mask.
Yeah.
It opens a door to Flashpoint. Don't ask why, it just does. That's yet another story that Jeff Johns never got to finish. I do like when he runs down everything that's happened from Thomas Wayne since. He still takes the time to dunk on Tom King's run a little bit.
Yeah. I was evil there. I was wrong.
I was wrong. It made no sense, and the Reverse Flash saved me. I'm like, really? Was it Reverse Flash? Because I thought it was supposed to be Dr. Manhattan, and then you all just changed it out of the blue and hoped we wouldn't notice. Which is weird, because Jeff Johns has like very not nice things to say about like Dark Knight's death metal, by saying when like someone writes on a board everything matters, this fucking bullshit, but he honors the Reverse Flash thing that Joshua Williamson wrote. Maybe it's because he knows Joshua Williamson is the top dog in this company now.
Yeah, it's definitely strange, but again, like I'm sure like it'll all flesh itself out like as the story goes along, because again, like Flashpoint shouldn't exist anymore, and Thomas Wayne knows it shouldn't exist. Like, I changed everything. This universe was erased. I witnessed it get erased. So how on earth did Darkseid like blast me back here?
Except for the other time it came back in the button and then got destroyed. And then I'm assuming it came back again too, because Perpetua and the universe got reset after Death Metal, but who the fuck knows? That's
probably how it's going to be retcon. Yeah, like it because the universe reset at the end of Infinite Frontier, it's going to like reset that. Yeah.
My whole thing too is like, wow, there's a lot of implications here for like the universe, because Batman looks through the Time Master's files and he finds something called the Divine Continuum,
DC.
Which is how about that? The initials are DC. It's a big like Yggdrasil style tree that involves the multiverse and the omniverse and hypertime and the dark multiverse, and basically it's big nerd Jeff Johns trying to make all of this fit and make sense.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing if we get to see more of that.
Yeah,
that's the stuff I really fucking like.
But in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, Jeff Johns, you clearly got a lot of ideas since you were gone. You clearly have a lot of thoughts for what other writers were writing. Is any of this going to matter? Because Dark Crisis is coming in like, what, a month or so? That's going to reset everything anyway, so does it matter?
Well, I have to imagine, again, I think it feeds into Dark Crisis, because, I mean, Thomas Wayne was a big part of all the stuff Joshua Williamson set up. And I imagine he's going to be trying to get back to the Prime universe, because he doesn't want his Flashpoint to exist, because that means his son is dead and his wife's the fucking Joker and all this fucking awful shit.
Barry is dead now because of what he does.
Yeah, that was great.
Oops. Really dark, and also reminded me of the Dark Multiverse issue they did where Barry dies in the chair.
Yeah.
Oh, also there's a serial killer running around Flashpoint universe called the Clockwork Killer, who's killing all the time travelers.
Yeah, kill it and like replacing their like innards with like clockwork
Gears
and stuff. I wonder if that's related to the Watch, because clockwork.
Yeah,
it's Dr. Manhattan's father,
or some shit like that. Yeah,
he was a clockmaker.
He sure was. Bland Man helping us out again. I imagine if the Mexico you guys go to is the one from Breaking Bad, instead of fixing your teeth, you guys just create and sell meth.
I don't want to go to that one. That one's terrible, and it's got like that piss filter on. I don't like piss filter.
Yeah, what's up with that? Some shows put piss filters on things.
All shows do. Moon Knight's like the only one that didn't.
I know. I like that. Man, that last Moon Knight episode in Cairo was great. Makes me want to go to Cairo.
Yeah.
Looked fun. But yeah, so this issue, again, there's a lot of wait and see attached to this one. My big takeaway from it was like, wow, John seems really angry about everything, and also who's his big reveal, considering the last time he wrote here it was the Watchmen. Oh, the Time Masters are your big reveal? Okay, that's not as cool as the Watchmen, but all right.
I did like them bringing back Corky Baxter. That's like a character we haven't seen since the 50s.
Yeah, that's a real. I get literally everyone in my comment section. Who?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but see, I don't think Jeff Johns is angry. It's more so, well, like his writing is angry because Thomas Wayne is angry. He's back in the world he thought he saved and like erased and didn't happen, and like he's now back there and everything's terrible, and so everything he did doesn't matter, and that's where the anger and frustration comes from.
Right.
I don't feel like I don't feel like it's Jeff Johns being like, oh, this fucking sucks. Doomsday Clock should be canon, all that sort of stuff.
It should be the thing that, I guess I'll have to wait for issue 2, but yeah, this tasted of sour grapes to me, a lot of this. Like, these are the stories I wanted to tell and didn't get to tell because I was ousted and I was your fucking boss, everybody. And you didn't like me, and now I'm back writing this because I guess I'm under contract for at least one more. So here's a sequel to everything I've written, and Flashpoint is my most important work, which is interesting because I don't think he ever thought Flashpoint was his most important work, yet here it's kind of saying that it is. It's weird. Eric Santee, thanks, Matt, for your review of X-Men Red, especially since some reviewers didn't get the point of Storm forming a brotherhood and thought she was evil. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on in the X-Men books.
Do we want to talk about X-Men Red? Because we didn't get to talk about it when it came out.
You can talk about it. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I read the other X-Men books that came out.
So you'll probably be a bit more rewarded in reading this if you read all of Al Ewing's Sword, because it's literally a follow-up from that.
Which I did not, which is why I didn't, because I'm like, okay, some of these are just direct sequels.
Yeah, it's much like Immortal X-Men. This one's very wordy, very dialogue heavy, because it's setting up a lot of stuff. Magneto left Earth, came to Arakko and settled on Arakko, built his big castle, made a friend with a guy called Fisher King, who we find out is a Rakai, but doesn't have mutant powers.
Interesting.
And Magneto's like has a moment where it's like, do I racist him, or like what happens? What do I do? We find Roberto da Costa, Sunspot, has made the Red Lagoon on Arakko. He's like his bar. He's like trying to like liven the place up a little bit, because he's like, it's all death and destruction, and we need like parties and disco and everything.
Naturally.
And Kobach, his friend's like, I don't know what disco is, but okay, whatever. My husband died in the pits of Vile, and I've mourned him for a year. And Roberto's like, yeah, party, yay. Vulcan is there, and he's fucking pissed that the Shi'ar are there because it's like a neutral ground.
Right, and he's like, they enslaved him for a long time.
Yeah, and he's like, I used to be your supreme leader, commander guy. Now Gladiator just gave it to Xandra Xavier, and fuck you, I'm Krakoan royalty because I'm related to Scott Summers. I'm Summers, I'm Krakoan royalty. Rah, rah, rah. Thunderbird comes in and like beats the shit out of him.
Oh, Thunderbird's in this book. Nice.
Yeah, Thunderbird comes in, beats the shit out of him because he's like calling himself royalty, and it's like, yeah, fuck you, fuck Krakoa, all this bullshit. You used my brother and turned him into a soldier.
That's sort of stuff. Fun. I'm really excited for that Thunderbird one-shot they're going to do.
Yeah, Abigail Brand and Cable turned up. Last time we saw Abigail Brand, she joined Orchis against Krakoa.
Yes.
But
she's interesting because she's dating Beast in the X-Force books, and Mr. Spymaster has no idea.
I don't think she's dating him anymore.
I think they said they broke up in Immortal X-Men, but in the X-Force book they're together for at least a minute.
Maybe it's not caught up yet, yeah.
Probably not.
But yeah, she's like trying to calm everyone down, and we find out she wants to set up an X-Men for Mars, X-Men Red. And so she goes to see, before she goes to see Storm, she actually ends up taking Vulcan, and like they want to throw Vulcan off of Arakko and like take him back to Krakoa, and
because he's being a dick.
Yeah, but she's like, well, Sword will take him. He could be useful. He could be
he's
very useful.
Powerful.
And Roberto knows that she's fucking up to something, and she goes to see Storm, who's busy trying to decide what her rule of Arakko is going to be, because she's technically the queen. She doesn't like calling herself queen because she's the regent, the voice of soul. She hates that people like Iska and everything always like call her queen, and even though that's kind of what she is, so she's trying to figure out that like her rule isn't like Orwellian or like Krakoa or like what it was when she was part of Wakanda and everything.
She wants to do it differently. She wants to take what she's learned.
Yeah, but she's having problems because like because on Arakko you have to fight for like your seats and everything, like literally fight to the death. And she ended up fighting back in like Sword, she ended up fighting a shapeshifter who took on her own form and kind of got in her head a little bit, because she keeps remembering like the shapeshifter was only telling her that like Aurora's only interested in power, and power corrupts, because she's seen it all happen before, and that's sticking with Aurora. And she's like, yeah, well, I've seen that happen with like Xavier on Krakoa. It's kind of all going to his head, and you know, Wakanda was kind of like that when I was there, so I want to do things differently. And that's when Bran comes to her and be like, hey, lead my X-Men team, and like kind of instill some sort of authority on Arakko and kind of sort everything out. But she doesn't want to do that. She's like, no, that's wrong. That these people need to be free because they were imprisoned for like eons. Yeah. These people need to be free. And so Bran's like, well, fuck you. I'll make my own X-Men team, and we'll probably be powered by Orchis, so we'll be evil guys. And then Storm decides, well, in that case, I'm going to set up the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but they're going to be the good guys. They're going to be the good guys this time. So she goes
what a fun inverse. Your evil X-Men versus our good Brotherhood.
Yeah. So she goes and recruits Roberto and Magneto and the Fisher King.
Nice. That sounds like a good setup.
Yeah, I loved that the Brotherhood are now good guys. That's so cool. And she gets cool new outfits. She gets like she looks like a punk.
Outfit. It looks really good.
She's got a big mohawk and like leather jackets and shit. This looks cool.
Mohawk Storm is the best Storm. We can all agree.
Yeah.
Also, fun power dynamic between Storm and Magneto now, the guy who founded the original Brotherhood.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what his thing is, because like his thing in the whole issue was like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I tried to do something on Krakoa, like no one like. It's kind of like Moira was doing, where it's like no one treated me with the respect I deserve. They all saw just like the monster Magneto.
Yeah, he's got a real bit of boo-boo face going on, doesn't he?
And also on Arakko, he's no longer calling himself Eric. He's calling himself Max now.
Oh, interesting. Trying to change it up. Fresh start.
Yeah.
I guess while we're on X-Men, I should probably talk about X-Force, because I had 2 X-Force books, 27 and the annual. So a lot of this is the fallout of X lives and X deaths, and thankfully the fallout was actually much better and more interesting than the story itself.
Really?
It really was. So like Wolverine's back, and he's like, oh, what a fun adventure traveling through time and space and everything. I'm glad everything is under control and nothing is fucked. And the Cerebro helmet that let him travel back in time starts glowing red because it's corrupted now.
Oh no, is that possessed by Omega Red?
Well, actually, it's funny you should say that. Omega Red's actually a big part of this story. Sage, empowered by Emma Frost, because now she runs most of the council there and by most of the island, is like, hey, Beast, I'm sick of your war crime shit. You know, Xavier and Magneto might have given you leeway, but, you know, Xavier's not as powerful as he used to be, and Magneto's not fucking here, so you answer to me now. And he's like, I don't like that at all. And even Sage is going against him now. And she's like, look, you know, when X-Force was founded, we were going to have one side for brains, one side for brawn, but we need a side for heart. We really actually fucked poor Omega Red over. We made him into a sleeper agent. He only betrayed us when he found out that we killed him, resurrected him, turned him into a human listening device. I think if we bring him back, actually fix his condition that makes him feed on life, he might actually be willing to come and help X-Force. And if we're going to be fighting Mikhail Rasputin and the Russian government, we're going to need more Russian mutants.
Yeah, okay.
So we got to try and bring him back, and we got to turn him. And that issue is Sage going around to all the different members of X-Force. It's like, are you okay with this? And surprisingly, they all are. Wolverine's like, yeah, I guess it would be shitty if I denied someone a second chance. Look how many second chances you've all given me.
Yeah.
Also, the way Beast was acting, experimenting on mutants and everything, that's some real Weapon X shit you're doing there, Dick. I don't like that. And Quentin Quire's like, normally I'd say no, but I've been like living and learning a lot through all my own deaths, and if he turns against us, I'll just kill him. So let's do it. Let's have him on the team. Let's give it a try. And Beast is so pissed off, he goes to Mars and he commiserates with Abigail Brand.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, I'm losing control of my team and they don't like me anymore. And I'm so mad. I won't get to do all the fun war crimes that I used to do. It's all bullshit, man. And so they resurrect Omega Red, but he's still kind of freaked out. And they're like, well, we got to give him the choice to join the team, because if we like press gang him into it, then we're no better than the Russians are.
Yeah.
And as soon as they do that, hey, Forge is dead. Cerebrix ate his head and is now running around the island. We've got a head-eating helmet on the island. What do we do?
Oh, no.
Also, Forge got his powers back, too, even though they shot him with a bullet that took the powers away.
Yeah, he was mentioned in this week's X-Men as well, because he made, like, a gun for Rogue, yeah.
Yeah, they got around it very easily. It's just like, yeah, they killed me and they brought me back with powers, so it's really easy to get around, actually. So much for the power-destroying bullet. It's really easy.
Yeah.
And then X-Force Annual is also about Beast battling against Emma Frost, and Beast willingly sends his own team into a trap, an Orchis trap, where the deal is they've built like this, white room where they try and test the limits of all the mutants' powers, where it's like, okay, if we stab Wolverine in the same place over and over again, will he be able to heal the same way? Hey, Domino is able to mess with probability, so if we put her in like a death maze where every single door leads to death, how's that going to work? And for Quentin Quire, it's like, okay, we've developed a new sonic weapon to deal with Omega-level psychics. Basically, it hits you at just the right frequency that it fucks with your mind.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they leave there, and Quire's like, geez, I hate leaving empty-handed. Hey, Beast, I got this sonic weapon to fuck with psychics. Do you think we could do anything with it? And Beast's like, oh, yeah, we can. I'm going to use that against Emma Frost.
We can use this for so many war crimes.
So many war crimes. Gimme. And you find out it's like, oh, so that's why he's setting them in to this trap, because he knew Orchis was building a device that could allow him to fight Emma Frost. So they're really building up to Hellfire Company versus X-Force.
Nice.
Which should be very interesting, because you wouldn't expect those guys to fight each other, but they are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, Emma herself is like kind of going against the council and everything now, because she knows like what Magneto and Xavier are up to. So she's like, fuck it all.
She is the council now.
Yeah. She's pretty much got like them all by the balls. Her Destiny and Mystique.
Yeah, she's the queen of Krakoa now, essentially, and Beast doesn't like that.
No.
Especially because Beast, in that Immortal book, wanted to become a new member of the council, and they shot him down.
Yeah.
So yeah, that continues to be super fun and super good. And I guess if we're talking about X-Men, we might as well talk about X-Men 10 that came out this week.
Yeah, the continuation of Game World, finally.
Finally, I know, right? Again, this feels like poor Duggan, because literally he had to spend a whole issue just setting up all these other X-Men books.
Yeah, and it's like why I really like it, like, because this issue was all focused on Laura and her mission to Orchis. I kind of feel like we're issue 10 now, and we haven't really had a full issue where the team is together as a cohesive team, doing superhero shit like Scott wanted them to.
It's the worst thing about it. It's really unfortunate. Clearly, Duggan had a vision, but this book lives to serve other books.
Yeah. You could also say that maybe that's like part of the story where, like, because Scott wanted them to be more a superhero team, Xavier didn't, and like Xavier and like the council and Krakoa are always getting them involved in like other shit so they don't do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because it does feel like a book that's constantly getting jerked around, because there was the Game World stuff, then there was the Captain Krakoa stuff, and then nothing until we picked up with Game World now.
Yeah, they had like the Vault stuff, and then that didn't really go anywhere except to further Sync and Laura's relationship.
And like even all the stuff with Rogue and Gambit, it's like, are you even on this team?
Yeah, Rogue is, but Gambit's not.
And Gambit has been in such a big part. I will admit, I like the stuff with Gambit and Destiny. Like, Destiny is now back in Rogue's life, and she's calling her mom again and everything. But Destiny hates Gambit's guts.
And it always has to remind her daughter that, like, hey, he's a bum.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Like, get rid of him.
Someone in the comments section brought up a great point, and that is that maybe the reason Destiny hates Gambit so much is that their relationship really mirrors Destiny's own relationship with Mystique, and that she would be the bum in that relationship.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
It's like, I hate you because I'm the Gambit of my own relationship, actually.
I could see that, yeah.
So it's actually very fun in that regard. We get Lady Deathstrike back for a minute, too, who doesn't admittedly do much. No,
yeah, she's just kind of like a plot point to get Laura up into Orchis, because we learned that they've had a... doing experiments on her in a box, and she's got like adamantium poisoning, something that apparently comes for all Wolverines.
Adamantium people, yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to fix, though. You just need some of that Wolverine miracle blood, and you're good.
Yeah, apparently it just fixes you, yeah.
It's very easy to do, and then Lady Deathstrike just fucks off, and I'm like, oh, that's sad. I would have liked to have seen you as a villain or even joined the team, because you're one of the weird X-Men villain holdouts.
Yeah, well, she made that issue. She made that point to say that she got traded to Krakoa, which made me. I couldn't remember what happened, but I did think that she was maybe going to be like a Sabretooth situation where like, oh yeah, she was traded to Krakoa and she just got thrown into the hole,
the pit or something.
Yeah,
maybe. Kali Frederick helping us out again. Loved Storm's new outfit, looks dope. Loved Cable's burn on Thunderbird. Also, I wonder what happened at the summer house with Vulcan.
Vulcan's just gone crazy just because of all like the Shi'ar, and he's got like fucked head or something. Yeah.
Now there's a guy who probably should have been on the Marauders book, because that's a space book now.
Yeah.
Hey, if we're going into space, can we take one spacefaring X-Men with us? Hey, Vulcan, you know your way around.
Hey, Cannonball, do you want to go see your family again?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Cannonball is an alien family.
Yeah, his wife is like the leader of... His wife's Atom Smasher, the leader of the fucking...
holy shit, I
forgot. Like, God.
Yeah, that's like a Hickman Uncanny Avengers holdover.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, X-Force is fun. X-Men 10 is fun too, but I would have liked a little bit more about it. I wish the book could like actually tell its own stories when it feels like it's serving so many other books.
It's even worse though, because like the team's changing up very soon, because we got Hellfire Gala coming up.
That's
and
right.
the team's getting ready to change up. So it feels like we haven't really gotten a chance to be with this team.
Because we haven't actually. It's funny too, you know, all these new X-Men books are like, oh, it's your fresh start, it's your fresh chance to get in there. Not really.
Yeah, not really, no. You need to have read like all of Hickman's shit to understand what's going on.
Yeah, if you don't have the context for any of this stuff, most of it's going to be gibberish. This is not a good jumping on point no matter what they tell you.
Yeah.
What else did you have this week, Matt?
Let's have a look. I had Earth Prime Batwoman issue 1.
Oh, yes. More of the CW crossover that we never quite got.
Yeah, so this is, again, because it's comic books, they can do, like, big shit, and, you know, it's cheaper.
Yeah, it helps.
So, yeah, this issue finds Batwoman, Ryan Wilder, fighting a Clayface, and kind of going off the plot of the show where... a bunch of Batman's trophies of all these different villains got out into the city. So, like, Mad Hatter's hat... some Killer Croc stuff that turned some guy into like a Killer Croc, all this stuff, and some of the stuff that got out was Clayface's clay that Batman was trying to cure Basil of the stuff, but he couldn't, and that ends up infecting a bullied teenager named Tanner, who ends up turning into Clayface, and Clayface ends up giving this kid powers, and the kid likes having the powers because he can pick on the bullies that were bullying him.
Makes sense.
And Batwoman has to find where Tanner is, because it's very hard to find him because he's made of clay. He just like disappears into like the mud, and you can't find him anymore. And so because they don't have the bat, because it's going off the season, they don't have like the bat cave or any of the Wayne technology, because Ryan's half brother, who is like her Joker, is like taking over the company. It's a whole fucking thing. Whole fucking thing.
Sounds like a
whole fucking thing. Yeah, she ends up fighting Clayface and can't really figure out how to beat him, and that's when Lena Luthor from Supergirl comes in, and she had a meeting with Ryan because she thought Ryan was still the head of Wayne Enterprises, but it's her brother. But she ends up talking with Ryan, and it's like, hey, I got a sustainable energy source for National City, but it needs a cooling agent. Can I have Mr. Freeze's freeze serum? Because she knows Ryan's Batwoman thanks to Kara and everything. But they don't have the serum because her brother's running Wayne and they don't have access to it, so they have to make it again. And they end up making it and using it to power Lena's thing-owned National Cities, but also uses it to destroy Clayface, to freeze him and like send him to Arkham. And it's here where the actual crossover begins, because the big bad of the crossover is revealed, and it's Magog.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, he appears to Tanner in the prison in Arkham and freeze Clayface, and he's very much like Magog in the Kingdom Come. He wants to kill all these self-righteous heroes, all the old heroes. Right. The new heroes need to come in and help the people and everything. So he frees Clayface, and it's implied that he's setting up a team of some sort, because he disappears through like a portal in the prison. And that's kind of like where the book ends. It has like a backup written by the guy who plays Luke Fox about how Luke Fox doesn't get a like private life because he's dating Stephanie Brown, and he's always late to their dates because he's got to do shit for Batwoman in the Batcave. And it's a fun little story.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go, because the next issue comes out this week, and it's the Superman and Lois one.
Oh, yes, I've seen the art from that.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing Magog tangle Superman. That would be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was really surprised that it was actually Magog. Because you don't actually know who it is when you first see him. You just see the staff. And I'm like, I know that staff. I know who that staff belongs to.
That's fun. I wonder if they did do the crossover, if they had like Magog's name in a hat of like, okay, who are crossover level villains?
Well, I have to wonder, like, could we have done this in live action? I'm like, you probably could have, but it, like, Clayface might have looked pretty bad because like these shows don't have the biggest budget.
They do not.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go, especially because comics you can go a little bit bigger.
Absolutely can.
Yeah.
You were talking about Superman there. Well, that's perfect, because one of the other comics I read this week was Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 10.
Yeah, pretty big issue.
Pretty big issue. Yeah, very much so. We see the culmination of several different storylines they've been building up to. We get to see Lois in her role as the Truth actually stand up to Lex Luthor and President Bendix and their whole misinformation campaign about John as Superman.
And that was so fantastic, because
great Lois moment.
It was great Lois moment as well, because it's like you're pairing Lois with like Lex, who they have like a very long relationship, so you get like this kind of banter between each other, but Lois is still like getting the best of him. I like the whole golden lasso thing. That was great.
Yes, I have Wonder Woman's lasso now. It was just rope with gold spray paint, but I knew he'd run away.
Yeah,
and he did.
Yeah, the smartest man in the world, but what good did that do him?
Yeah. Luthor is just such a wonderful piece of shit in this issue, too, because he has a whole fucking press conference just to talk smack about John.
Just to talk shit, and it's like, hey, your father's not here, so you can't do anything. Your mother's here, but like, what's she gonna do,
Yeah. We can't trust this kid. He's 17. He's untested. We he's not mature enough for it. We need a better class of Superman. It's like, but you hated his father every day of his life, and now you're saying he's not good enough. His son, yeah, well, fuck him, right? So you're saying if Clark came back right now, you'd be okay with it? Well, no, I'm not. I'm just saying.
I want someone to bring back the time Lex tried to be Superman, and it's like, hey, you tried to be Superman, and you're fucking awful at it.
Yeah, that's a great gotcha. You're right. Well, here you are running around with his ass, so Eric helping us out again in the chat. I know Duggan said most of the team won't change, but who would you want to stay? For me, keep Wolverine, Sync, Sunfire. Yeah, Wolverine and Sync needs to stay because so much of the book is about them.
Yeah, and so much needs to be still said about them. They need to sort out that whole relationship of them.
Very much so. Wouldn't be surprised if Polaris ends up leaving because she won the last vote and they had to do a whole issue about her not wanting to be on the team because of the vote.
Yeah, Sunfire I could see still saying because I like the sort of thing they're building with him being kind of a foil to Fei Long.
Yeah.
With the whole Chinese, Japanese sort of thing.
I do like that. That is good.
Yeah.
And obviously Cyclops needs to stay too because, it's Cyclops' team.
It's
That's
his
the
team.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Everyone else, and I guess Rogue needs to stay because Rogue and Gambit and Destiny, that's a whole new storyline they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone else is kind of disposable, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. But yeah, Superman there. So yeah, Lois stands up to him in a big way, which is super freaking cool. You love to see it. Dick continues to be a great mentor to John, saying, hey man, don't worry. At every point in every superhero's life, we get framed for murder and have to deal with it.
Yeah, it just means you're doing the right thing. It's kind of like a rite of passage. If you get framed for murder or like some one of your villains say like you murdered someone, it's bound to happen.
Get framed for murder, wear a bad costume, leave your suit in a dumpster to signify that you're quitting being a hero, get old in an old man story. It's all there. It's all there. And Superman obviously is doing these Superman things, just still saving people regardless of what they say about him and everything. Yeah,
and he has that great moment in Dublin where he saves the people in the museum.
Yeah, and the dad is scared of him, but the daughter, ends up putting in a good word for him. I thought that was nice, and I love this idea to justify Lois joining the truth, where it's like, yeah, Superman can't spend every day fighting every, aspersion cast on his character because he's too busy saving lives. He needs basically a PR team to fight for him.
Yeah, he can't reply to all the comments.
No, he really can't. Nor should he, because it would be bad for him.
Yeah, don't look at the comments, John.
No, don't look at the comments. I run a moderately popular YouTube channel, and even I can't keep up with every comment. Try, though I might. But yeah, Jay and the Truth also have an interesting little side story here. Chaos Kitten and some of the Revolutionaries are like, hey, you didn't tell us Lois was coming. Hey, why didn't you want to cover the Lex thing? You're kind of keeping a lot of secrets from us all of a sudden.
Yeah. Hey, these Lex Bendix drone people have bombs in their heads. We had bombs in our head. Why didn't you tell us this, Jay?
Yes, when we were in the Suicide Squad. Nice callback to the other work there from Tom Taylor that we both enjoyed.
Yeah.
John gets his big coming out moment to his mother, which was surprising to me because I'm like, oh yeah, I guess he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, and they did it in like a really great way where there's like that tense moment to begin with where like Lois is like, come into the other room, we need to have a talk. Yeah. And so I can just imagine that like there is some people out there that thought like, oh, she's gonna like chew him out about it or something.
Yeah, I'm like,
but it's like this really great moment, and then it's like, I always knew. I'm a fucking star reporter,
It's, really, Mom? Because I'm pretty sure you thought Dad and Superman were two different people for like a couple decades.
And I like how she like excuses that, but I was like, I've won Pulitzers since then.
Since then, there's a lot going on back then.
It was the 90s,
Yeah, everything was happening back then.
Superman had a mullet, it was wrong, And this beautiful Kodak moment is ruined by Uncle Batman showing up, being like, hey, you ruffled the feathers of a dictator and an evil supervillain. You literally cannot stay at home anymore. Yeah, we got to come to a Justice League safe house, which is funny because they technically did this story before when when Superman revealed his identity.
Yes.
And they had to go to the Kent farm, which was looked after by... which was like surrounded by like the League, and they had all that sort of stuff, and it still got destroyed.
And then Bendix blew it up. So, geez, the Justice League safety stamp of approval isn't as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
And on the way, Batman makes a big point of being like, and Jay can't come. Jay can't come where we're going. And it's like, really? How come? Because I have a dark secret to reveal.
Yes, he's secretly ultra-humanite.
Yes, which is the theory you're working on. My theory I've been working under forever is that he's Bendix's son.
Yeah, it'll be something like that, yeah. Bendix's son, or somehow working for him or something. Yeah.
Or something like that. Batman makes a big deal about him not being able to come on this mission. But yes, that's the big reveal there. So everyone who's been theorizing about it, hey, I guess you were right.
we got both sides of the story where like he stays with John, he becomes like a good character and everything. But then there's also that caveat where he can be bad, maybe.
Ooh, but
again, it could also just be like just Batman paranoia.
That's what I think too. I'm like, it's not going to be as big a deal as Batman makes it out to be. They want this to be the big bombshell at the end of the issue. They're going to make a big point of whatever it being, John accepting and loving him through it anyway, because isn't that how these stories go? Someone actually brought up another interesting point too, where they're like, I'm not surprised that Jay has a dark secret, because isn't that how every superhero love interest goes? They either die or are secretly a villain or something to put them away.
Yeah. To like put that toy in the box once your story is over. Yeah.
As Kali Frederick saying there, would love an issue with John and his Gramps. Yeah, again, they brought Ma and Pa Kent back and then didn't do much with them.
Yeah, well, again, they were kind of like shepherded off to like, I guess this whole time they've been like living in like protection or something, because like Superman's identity was out there or something. Yeah, I know Connor was living with them for a little while.
Yeah. Eric also helping us out as well. It's weird to think that a family dinner issue can happen with Mystique, Destiny, Nightcrawler, Rogue, and Gambit. Yes, please.
That's what we need, and just like Destiny, like cattily sniping at like Gambit every now and then.
Yeah, just being a total pain in the ass. It ends in a food fight, of course. Mystique be like, this is why we can't have nice things. She pulls out a gun and just shoots the food. Because, yeah, you're all happy now, but I mean, come on. Does Gambit have any family that's still alive? I guess his father, the head of the Thieves Guild, died a couple years back, so we can't have him.
Yeah, they'll hire someone.
Well, I mean, hey, he was a mutant, wasn't he? So technically he can be brought back to life, right?
Yeah, but again, Destiny's on the council. She'd be like, no, he cannot have his family back.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Let me get my dad back just a little bit. Come on. Oh, God, they're just, barbecuing pigs out in the yard, playing cards.
Doing a crab boil or something, yeah.
Oh, doing a delicious Cajun crab boil out in the yard. Just being huge stereotypes. That'd be good. I like that a lot. But yeah, so that was Superman number 10. Big things coming in the next issue.
Yeah.
In the next issue. That was basically it for me. I didn't read much else. This was a light week. I actually got to get work done for a change, which is nice.
Yeah, the only other book I had was Suicide Squad 14.
Oh, yes, the penultimate issue. Or is this the final one?
Nah, this is penultimate issue. We're getting a two-parter story, and it's kind of good, kind of bad, because it just basically just like, oh yeah, War for Earth 3 happened, and we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, wow. What a shame. Talk about flaming out right at the end.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting, because Rick Flag's team is dropped back on Earth Prime by Waller, and just kind of like left to fucking deal with all of Waller's problems, because the Waller contingency is put in place, and like the American military like blow up the island and everything, and a couple of weeks later Rick is like running a team. He's like running the squad now, which is really interesting, but like it's not going according to any of his plans, because like as we know, as throughout this whole run we've been told, like, yeah, Suicide Squad are losers. They often don't get many wins and anything. Yeah. And Rick Flag, like at the start of the issue, he's promising them like, oh, we're going to run the squad, and we're going to be, we don't need bombs in our head to tell us we're the Suicide Squad. And we cut to like their missions, and like he's got like little groups going out on missions. Like he's got Ambush Bug and Peacemaker stealing a bunch of Match clones. He's got Dr. Rodriguez, who turned into like a sand meta. She's like,
how about that?
She's like breaking him out of like military prison. Mirror Master and Calibra, who is taking over the body of Wheelman, like a really shitty meta.
Of course.
They are pulling a heist on Chet Moneymaker Mannheim.
Is he related to Ugly Mannheim?
Yes, he's his grandson.
Of course,
I think. To get like some like pendant that should help Calibra get a body back.
Right, she's a ghost.
He's like running all these missions, and they all fail spectacularly, because that's what the Suicide Squad does, but like it's the added caveat that none of them will actually die, like get their heads blown off or anything. So like they're like, wow, this kind of sucks.
Turns out Waller was on to something all these years.
It's like, wow, this like we don't have that hanging over our head, and we're just doing these missions for like Rick Flag, who is basically Waller but without the bombs. This kind of fucking sucks. And Rick Flag's like, no, I promise you, like our next mission is going to be good. We just need funding. We're going to kidnap Lex Luthor.
Well, if you're going to go out big, I guess.
And that's where the issue ends.
Amazing. We're gonna rob Lex Luthor as our last mission.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I just like that. They're just like, okay, yeah, so War for Earth 3 happened, and we're not going to talk about it. The only holdover from that is Bloodsport story, where like he's dumped back on Earth with all his multiversal brothers, and he's like trying to find which world they belong on so he can return them, because he doesn't know which.
That's interesting.
Because the brothers are just normal people, so they're like, I belong on planet Earth. Okay, yeah, but which one?
That's very interesting, considering that his relationship with his brother is so important to him.
Yeah, he fucking hates it as well, because like they're all like living in like an apartment, and it's just like a shitty apartment, so and there's like trash everywhere. They're not like doing the dishes or anything, and he's like, oh, I fucking hate this.
To think all he wanted was to get his brother back. Now he has multiple versions of his brother, and it sucks.
Yeah, and he fucking hates it.
What a monkey's paw wish. All right, I guess with that we can talk about what's coming out this week then. I usually like when we do that to close the show.
Mm-hmm.
We got Nightwing number 91, the continuation of the Nightwing Flash team up.
Oh, nice. Finally some more on that plot. It feels like that plot just like stopped, like, because you did all those other team ups and everything.
Tell me about it. Flash 781.
Nice.
Kid Flash to Work Day is what this one is called.
Yep. We
got Hulk number 6. I think you and I dropped off on Hulk, but we might have to come back because they're doing a crossover with the Thor book.
I'm still reading it. He fought the last issue I read. He fought like a Peter Parker who got turned into a gamma irradiated Spider-Man.
Oh,
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Avengers 55 looks to be snake people.
Yep. They're Serpent Society. They're multiversal Serpent Society.
Oh, that's cool because there's a lot of them to begin with.
Yeah.
We got Wolverine number 20, which I guess is the fresh start of this now. And oh, look, Deadpool's here.
Oh, okay.
Which, say what you will about this Krakoan era, but they sure did, hold back on the impulse to just throw Deadpool into stuff.
Well, didn't they like kick him off the island or something? So he's not allowed. He's not allowed here. No.
Yes, he tried to crash the Hellfire Gala. They're like, no, you're not invited. Get out.
Yeah, we could cure your cancer, but we're not going to.
But we won't. We got Batman, Superman, World's Finest number 2.
Ooh, nice.
That'll be fun. We got Batman, The Night number 4.
Ooh, yes.
It looks like he's fighting ninjas in Nepal, so that's gonna be cool.
Ooh, nice.
What else do we got going on here? Ooh, we got Captain America number 0. This is the big 0 issue that's gonna spin off into the Sam and the Steve book.
Nice.
So that's cool. Catwoman, Lonely City, which I'm actually hearing great things about now.
Was that like a Black Label book or something?
Yes, it's like an old woman Catwoman in the future where she's like the only one who can save Gotham now in this like dark dystopian future.
Nice. Who's writing that?
Yeah, who is writing that? Again, someone told me about it and it actually sounded really great.
It sounds like a Tom King pitch.
Cliff Chang, actually, who's both a writer, artist, colorist, and variant artist as well.
Oh, wow.
People are like, no, this is a Black Label book that's actually worth it because it's like about Gotham, but it's not about Batman.
Nice. Cool.
I'm all about that. Blue and Gold, number 8.
Nice. Yep.
Shang-Chi, number 11. So he just has the 10 rings now.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know people were talking about that a couple of weeks ago where it's like, hey, you got the 10 rings from the movies.
Yep. Trial of the Amazons, Wonder Girl, number 2.
Okay, I haven't been reading that.
Neither have I. Again, I might check it out when it's done. Doctor Strange, Nexus of Nightmares, number 1. Didn't we kill him? Yeah, but he's back in another thing.
Yeah, it's probably like a non-canon, like, just a little book.
Probably. Earth Prime, number 2, Superman and Lois, so, you can check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all the superhero stuff, because, yes, everything else is all indies and stuff.
Nice.
But there you go. So we got a big week, actually, to make up for this slow week. There's a lot coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, they expect us to read a lot of them books. So, thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out and listening to us. We had a really good crowd here for a long time. Thank you to Eric and Kali and Cowboy and everyone else for your donations there, and Bland as well. Very, very appreciative of that. It helps keep this train going and helps Matt and I afford our expensive dental surgeries that we need.
Yeah, it's always helpful.
Yeah, what are the odds of that we both need freaking expensive dental shit done at the same day? on more or less the same day. Tell me about it. Christ almighty. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out and listening to us. We hope you enjoy the show. As always, if you're a patron, you'll get the show first before anyone else. Matt and I try and get the video and audio version up. You can listen to the audio version for as little as $1 a month. That definitely helps us. Every little penny helps along the way there. I try and get more stuff up for patrons, but it's hard. Everyone else, you can listen to the show Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We drop it with ads, do an ad-free audio version later on in the week, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be sure to check us out next week. We'll have more stuff going on, and I guess as the end of the month is coming up, when is the end of the month this week, actually?
Next week.
As I look. Yeah, next week. Again, do we want to do I guess we'll wait and see what the news is like, because depending on what the news is like, we'll do it next Sunday, or if not, we'll do it the Sunday after. We'll do Retro Hero Video again. We're going to be looking at the Stan Lee reality show, So You Want to Be a Superhero.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Oh boy, it's something special. It's all up for free on YouTube right now too, so I'll probably be able to put more clips in it.
Yeah, we might even just be able to stream the whole episode.
Because oh boy, it is something. It's something, let me tell you.
Yep.
It's from a time that is both simpler and yet not.
Yes.
So thank you everyone. We'll be back again next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah.